can you tell us your name and your affiliations?
My name is Dee U Silverthorn, and I am a professor emeritus at Dell Medical School, University of Texas at Austin in the United States.
Why do you study some science?
I grew up with science because my father was a physician and in academic medicine, and he had a laboratory at the medical school at Tulane. And so from the time I was in the 7th grade, each summer I would spend time in the laboratory with him and his technician, and that's where I learned to love science.
Oh, that's amazing. So when you were a kid, you were always in the lab, or how was that? How was growing with science?
It would be difficult for people that don't have that opportunity, but you can certainly look around at so many summers have camps where you can learn to enjoy nature. And we also would go out on the boat. We owned a boat, my father built it, and we would go fishing, and so I learned to love being outside on the water and studying marine biology.
Wow, that's amazing. What you will say to a kid for studying science?
I think it's a wonderful way to look at the world around you and to learn to look and see what is there and to discover something that you enjoy. I mean, whether it's science or math or English or art, they're all related, and so you need to find something that you love to do, because then it's not work. It's always fun, even though it may be how you make your living.
Okay, and how do you think that being a woman, that make you to think about new perspectives in your book, for example?
When I received my PhD, it was a time when most women did not go to college, and many of the ones that went to college were going only so they could find a husband. And so I was actually the first woman in the physiology department at the Medical University of South Carolina. And so I've been used to being a lone woman, a solo woman in a group of men. But we're seeing more and more women go into science, and so the tradition in physiology, the standard has been the 70-kilogram man. But we now have to focus and think about the woman as well. And so they're now called reference man, and there is a reference woman. And so many of the people studying science are women. We need to pay attention to the differences in the physiology of men and women, and both in size, for instance, lung volumes are 25% less in women. So it's important when studying to understand that there are differences, physical differences in the two sexes. And so books need to take that into account and not just be all about men.
I can imagine that wasn't easy for you. So what motivates you to continue to this path? What you will tell to your younger Dee for continue to this path?
Well, I actually, I am married, and my husband is a physician, and shortly after he finished his postgraduate training, I actually walked away from science for 6 years.
Okay.
Because I love to write, and I also am an artist and do multimedia fiber art. And so I turned my back on science for 6 years, but then an opportunity came to go to the University of Texas in a faculty position. And when I came back, I realized how much I missed it and how much I loved it. So I think it's important to just pick what it is that you love to do, and the task that you do and the path you take will will be set by what you love and not by what you feel you must do for your parents or anyone you feel you owe things to.
Because I'm so interested in what you're saying, because sometimes we think that as scientists we have to just like doing all experiments in the lab, and how you think that it is impacting that other like kind of aspects to your doing what you love.
There are many different paths you can take with a degree in science, and what we are seeing now is that less than 20% of our postdoctoral students are going into that traditional academic, I'm going into the lab and doing research. That means 80% are choosing other things, including teaching. We will always need teachers of science, but also science policy, trying to shape how governments decide what they will do about science, science writing, trying to make science open to everyone so that our people that are not trained in science can understand what we do, working with nonprofit organizations. So there are many different things you can do with science. It's not just going into the laboratory.
Okay, thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
This is Mujeres Creando ConCiencia.